welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Michelle and welcome to my channel called Michelle the Mystic. Today's video we're going to be talking about psychic gifts and more specifically the 4 different clairs, which are clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, and clairsentience. And I'll be covering in later half of the video different types of psychic gifts that are not these 4 intuitive psychic gifts. Things like astral traveling, things like tarot reading, different kinds of ways to connect to the universe, to spirit, and to tap into your innate intuitive abilities. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, thank you for clicking on this video and keep watching all the way to the end. So first, I would like to say that every single human has all of these capabilities, has all 4 clair psychic gifts. So everybody has them. They are not special to one single person. The only difference between people who have these gifts and can feel them and experience them is that they've developed them more, they've cultivated them more, they've practiced them more. They have made and set an intention to live a life by these intuitive gifts. And everybody has them, but most people don't actually know how to use them, have never developed them, don't even know what they feel like in their physical body. And not a lot of people believe in them, and they're just like, no, those are for the crazy people, those are for the psychics, those are for the mediums. But everybody actually has them because all humans are made up of the same types of DNA in the cells that are the physiological components of our body. And so everybody has these gifts within their DNA, within their body, within their soul, and they can learn how to tap into that, and they can learn how to develop that, cultivate that, and use those gifts, share those gifts with the rest of the world. If you're interested in trying to learn how to cultivate those gifts, you first need to know what those gifts are. So the first psychic gift that I want to cover in this video is called clairvoyance. And I'm sure you have heard of this. It is pretty well known in the non-spiritual community. It is well known in movies and books and all those kinds of things. But clairvoyance stands for clear seeing, and it's often associated with visions, with visualization, imagination, and it's linked to the third eye. The third eye is the mind's eye, and that's where we get a lot of these visions or psychic seeings that are talked about in movies and books and depicted in that way. And so a way that you can identify if you have psychic gifts or you have the psychic gift of clairvoyance, number 1 tell for me is really intense, vivid dreams, probably since you were a young child, or if you're developing this skill as of recently, then you'll get more intense, vivid dreams. A lot of times it's well known that our subconscious mind communicates to us through our dreams, and that's where a lot of processing happens while we're sleeping, processing from throughout your day, throughout your life, but it's also where the subconscious tries to give the conscious mind more information about the psyche of your human body and what's going on with you. And so a lot of times we'll get really intense dreams that have maybe symbols or people or places or certain things that we don't know of in our life, and maybe we've never seen them before in our life. And you can try and depict and analyze those dreams to understand what your subconscious mind is trying to tell you. But dreams are a huge indicator of the skill and the gift of clairvoyance. Another indicator of clairvoyance as a psychic gift is a good imagination or frequent daydreaming, or the ability to visualize scenarios, people, places, things in your mind that you've never seen before and can sort of project yourself into that reality. And so daydreaming is a huge indicator of this. So clairvoyance for me was probably the first psychic gift that I discovered for myself, and a really great indicator of this for me was analyzing and learning more about the experiences that I had during my meditations. So ever since I started meditating, the most common experiences that I have while meditating are all visual. I see flashes of light, I see colors, I see faces, I see eyes, I see places that I've never seen before. those appear in my mind's eye while I'm meditating. And so that was a really big indicator once I spoke to other people about my meditation experiences and found that those are sort of unique, that not a lot of people experience visual meditations as much as maybe verbal thoughts or those types of things. So that's another indicator. Pay attention to what's going on in your sleep. Pay attention to what's going on if you meditate or throughout your waking life, if you're daydreaming, if you tend to see things better, and that's how you process and absorb information better from the world. So those are all some indicators if you have the gift of clairvoyance. So the second psychic gift that I want to talk about is claircognizance. So claircognizance translates to clear knowing or inner knowing. And so this one is also pretty well known because it sort of is the way that your intuition speaks to you. So I would assume that most people have felt this before, but they haven't classified it as claircognizance, because claircognizance feels like a sudden stroke of inspiration, a sudden gut feeling of you know what's right, you know what's wrong, you know the answer to a question you've been seeking. It is almost like you have some sort of intuitive or just like download from the universe where you're just like, aha, and you understand whatever it is that you are trying to understand. Claircognizance is an innate, intuitive, inner understanding that instead of asking questions and seeking the answer from outside of you, somehow within you, you already have that wisdom within yourself. And so sometimes even when you're not seeking it, you can actually answer your own questions. You can get that inspiration, get those ideas, get that knowledge that almost seems to come out of nowhere, but it's like your soul knows and your soul already understands and just gives that information to you. And a way that you can feel this is actually in your gut. So this is what people talk about when they say that gut feeling of you need to pay attention to your gut feeling, because like sometimes things can make sense logically, but you just know that it's not right, or you just know that it is right. So pay attention to that gut feeling, and that's exactly what claircognizance is. And a lot of people have it, a lot of people feel it, a lot of people are very for listening to their gut as an instinct and as an intuitive behavior. So understanding that that power comes from within is claircognizance. And you don't always have to seek the answers outside in the external world from other people, places, or things. So a lot of times answers and solutions will come to you, maybe without even prior knowledge or skill or any type of expertise on the topic that you're dealing with. You just know, you innately know, and this is that inner knowing that is given to you by your soul, is given to you by the divine and the universe. The next one is Clairsentience, and Clairsentience stands for clear sensing or clear feeling. And so this one is often associated with obviously feelings, emotions, being empathetic, understanding other people, and all those things that come with it. So if you're a very empathetic person, you understand what I'm talking about, you understand the situation, you can pick up on other people's energy very easily, you can understand people's emotions very easily, you can pick up on cues of how they're feeling, maybe not even based on body language, but just based on, you know, this clairsentient knowing of how that person is feeling. You just innately know because you're able to psychically connect with them in that way. They're able to share and exchange their energy field and their emotional body with you, and you're able to pick up and perceive that. So that's what the gift of clairsentience is all about. You're able to perceive their emotional body, emotional state, and sort of take that into your own energy and figure out how you can maybe help them if that's something that you choose to do. But clairsentients are very empathetic people. They understand people, they understand situations. Often they're very attracted to nature, animals, plants, things. They're very kind and empathetic to all living creatures. So that's another sign of a clairsentient gift. If you are empathetic or you have the gift of clairsentience, you could be very sensitive to crowds. Maybe you might be more introverted and not really enjoy going out into large crowds because you can feel and you can sense everybody's energy of either if it's good or bad, and that comes onto your energy. So being in large crowds can be kind of difficult for you. You might have experiences with sudden changes in your emotion or mood swings for what it seems to be no apparent reason. That could be due to the energy that you're picking up from other beings. And lastly, another sign of the clairsentient psychic gift is that you can actually feel and get a sense of intuitive messages by touch of objects or people or things. You can actually gain valuable intuitive insights and messages from touching objects that hold energy and hold memories of the past. So that's a really cool gift for clairsentient psychic abilities. And the last of the 4 clairs in the psychic gifts that I want to talk to you guys about is known as clairaudience. And clairaudience stands for clear hearing. So this obviously has to do with your hearing and your sensory input within your ears, and the way that you can identify this psychic gift within yourself. A lot of people that possess this, including myself, are auditory learners, so you prefer to hear things to absorb them. You need to maybe listen to things several times. You're not much of a visual person, or maybe you're not much of a writing person or anything like that. You need to hear things from another person or hear things to understand them. So being an auditory learner is a good indicator of this. Another indicator of this that I didn't even realize I did for a long time and wasn't normal is that you prefer to sort of talk things out, even if you're not talking to a person. So ever since I was a little child, I talked out my thoughts, but to myself, as if I was narrating to an audience, even though I was alone. And so that helped me, because I am an auditory learner, that helped me to make sense of my thoughts and process information if I was just talking to an audience that wasn't even there. So if you frequently need to talk things out to other people or even to yourself, you mumble to yourself to make sense of your thoughts and things that are going on, then you could have the gift of clairaudience. Another big indicator of clairaudience is you receive messages and these intuitive downloads as voices in your head. And so this could be your thoughts talking to you talking to you in your own mind, but you hear your voice or you hear a voice in your mind that speaks thoughts to you. Or you can hear other voices of people who you don't know. So I do understand that a lot of these psychic gifts can be interpreted as modern day mental illnesses. So obviously if you hear voices, like many voices, that's probably a sign of some type of mental illness. But if that's not frequent, but you find some of these other symptoms or other mental illness is not something to laugh about. I'm not laughing about it, I swear. I'm laughing at myself. Okay, so yes, if you hear voices in your head, maybe if things pop into your head when you're not even thinking of them. So I frequently have songs that just start playing in my head that I'm not thinking about, I'm not listening to them, I haven't listened to them in a while, or movies or scripts from movies, or sometimes more recently I'll actually hear a specific voice that is just chatting and I have to ask it to calm down and for the volume to lower because it's really loud in my head, and then it will lower. And so I know this sounds crazy, just bear with me. So another good indicator of the gift of clairaudience is that you prefer to listen instead of talk. So you might be a talker like myself, but you also enjoy listening, and that's sort of how you mainly process information and absorb information is through listening and taking things in that way from the world, from other people, from things. So you are more of a listener than a talker. Another indicator of the gift of clairaudience is that you actually hear things better. People might say that you have a really great hearing. You can hear things in higher frequencies as well, and that's a way that you can tell if this psychic gift is actually developing, is if your hearing increases. So I had an experience like this where I very much could tell that my hearing was increasing, and I could hear things that other people can't hear, and I can hear things in higher frequencies as well. And lastly, of course, if you have the gift of clairaudience, then you will receive messages and downloads and understandings from the universe in the form of voices or hearing things, and they're usually in a straightforward answer or straightforward solution or in a straightforward way. So maybe if you ask a question or you're thinking about something, or you're maybe even talking to somebody and they ask you a question, you'll get that answer and you'll hear it and then just give them that answer, and they'll be like, wow, I didn't know that you knew that. And you're like, I didn't even know that I knew that. And you can sort of give people profound advice that's not innately yours, but you downloaded it from the universe, you heard it from the universe, and then you're there to deliver those messages to people and places and things that need those. So that's a really awesome gift as well to have. So pretty cool. So a couple more points that I want to make on the topic of psychic gifts besides the 4 clairs that I went into. I don't know if this is proven, or I don't know if this is common knowledge in the spiritual community, but I always associated the 4 clairs with the 4 most higher chakras that you have. So Clairsentience is clear feeling, clear sensing. So I think that's associated with the heart chakra. Clairaudience is associated with like hearing and speaking and having the gift of a voice. And so I associate that with the throat chakra. Clairvoyance is obviously clear vision, which is associated with the 3rd eye chakra. And then claircognizance is when you get downloads and understandings from the universe, and a way to do that is through your crown chakra. And so I associate those with the 4 highest chakras that are connected to the universe, and those are the energy systems that you can use to get more in touch with the universe, in touch with your spirit guides, in touch with spirituality in general. And a way that you can try to cultivate these individual psychic gifts is to focus on healing, cleansing, and clearing these chakras that are associated with them. And so I would just recommend trying that out if you are curious. There are a bunch of different YouTube videos and guided meditations that you can do to clear and cleanse your chakras, specific ones or all of your chakra systems as well. And so just try that out and see how it goes. So of course there are more psychic gifts than these 4 that I just listed here today, but these are the 4 most intuitive psychic gifts that actually everybody already has and can learn how to develop them on their own if they choose to. So I'm just gonna run through a couple different other psychic gifts so you guys can be aware of what they are. Number 1 probably would be channeling and mediumship, which you can do. You don't have to be a medium to channel spirit. You just have to have open communication with the universe and open up your chakra systems and be open to that. So you don't have to be a medium to channel, but channeling and mediumship sort of go together. The next one would be reading tarot cards. So if you are drawn to start reading tarot cards for yourself or for other people, that could be a sign that you maybe want to develop this psychic gift, and that you can look at the cards and not only memorize them, but through your intuition understand what the cards mean and deliver those messages to whoever needs them. So the next one, you could be really interested or intrigued in astrology and reading astrology or understanding astrology or people's natal charts and understanding their placements in certain houses. That could be a gift that you possess psychically. Another one that's pretty cool is automatic writing. So if you are drawn to be more of a writer and journal your thoughts, you could try automatic writing. I think the only way to do this is to just be open and to let yourself not be scared of the process that's going on. You can do this physically with a journal, or you can probably also type it as well. So automatic writing is pretty cool because you can also receive direct answers on pen and paper just by being open and connecting with source and spirit in that way. Another possible psychic gift is telepathy. So telepathy would sort of go along the lines of claircognizance and clairvoyance. You are telepathically connected and psychically connected to another human, another being, another animal, another place or thing, and then you can telepathically communicate without verbally speaking in any sort of way. And so that's just sort of psychic connection that you can form, or that is already formed within your soul with another soul or something like that. So telepathy is pretty awesome. So the next one is energy healing. So if you are very sensitive to energy or practice energy work or anything like that, and you are called to do healing on your own body, on your own chakras, and then on other people as well, you could be an energy healer, and you definitely have the gift of healing people non-conventional way. And so that's another beautiful psychic gift that's out there and that a lot of people possess. So that was all I have for today's video on psychic gifts. I really hope that you learned something new, or that you are excited about trying to learn these psychic gifts for yourself, because you do have them, I promise you. You can learn how to cultivate them, you can learn how to practice and develop them, you can just strengthen your intuition, and it's going to change things in your life, I promise. So now that you know you have these psychic gifts, and you know of some other psychic gifts that exist in the world, start looking things up. If anything resonates with you, this is your sign that you need to go look it up. You need to go investigate and develop these psychic gifts for yourself. So thank you guys so much for clicking on this video in the first place and watching it all the way through. It really helps my channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to me as well. I'm a new YouTuber here on YouTube, so I would really appreciate any kindness, any generosity, any engagement that you guys can give me. So thank you so much, and have a great day.